Hello there, welcome into the latest edition of the SAU Football Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside head football coach Bill Keopple. Coach, 4 weeks into the season, your team sits there 2-2, started off the year 2-0, ran into some tough competition the last 2 weeks, a couple of losses. They're the two remaining unbeaten teams of the Great American Conference in Harding and Arkansas Tech, so some good competition there. But talk about where your football program is now, going through a month of the season, and kind of the grinded out part of the year to where you're past the beginning of the year, into the middle, and kind of where the team's at.
Well, our program is in great shape, regardless of what anybody thinks on the outside looking in. I mean, our program is in very bright right now. Now, as our team this year, obviously we've got our pride hurt a little bit. I mean, you go into a Harding game and regardless of what the final score was, anybody was at the ball game. Yeah, it started off bad for us when we got behind, but it was a back and forth, as some people call it, a track meet, back and forth, tennis match, however you wanted to describe it. But till late in the game, and they were able to put up a couple late on us to make it even look worse than it was. The Arkansas Tech game was something very similar to that to a certain degree. I mean, we came right out in the third quarter, right out of halftime, and took it down the field and scored, got ourselves back within 10 points, and you think, okay, we're in position, let's settle down, let's play some ball. Just couldn't ever put a handle on stopping them. And, I mean, that's frustrating from a defensive side of it, but, that's college football in this day and time. I mean, you got to give Tech some credit. I mean, the kid they brought in, the quarterback number 10, Favor, young man that was at Southern Miss, then transferred to UAB, played there, then of course they shut the program down, and they got their hands on the young man, and he's obviously helped make a difference in their team by a long shot. You take him out of the equation, they're not near the same team. Obviously a new offensive coordinator, a new scheme that we had never really played against. We've seen it, we watched it on film, but playing against it's a whole different thing, how they're going to attack you. Has been a benefit to them and their program. Brought in a young man that was doing an intern work at Auburn University and brought in Auburn's offense, and it's difficult to defend. I tried to defend Gus's offense back when he was at Springdale, I was at Texarkana, so it's very challenging. But you got to be able to put those things behind you. I mean, college football this day and time is so up and down, a roller coaster at times, and you just got to battle on and keep fighting, and it's still early in the year. We got a lot of games to play, so let's play it out first.
And then even in that Arkansas Tech game, obviously we've talked before about how young the football team is, particularly at quarterback. You got a redshirt freshman starting games for you, Barrett Renner. The beginning of that game wasn't very good offensively. Didn't get a touchdown until the waning seconds of the first half, but that kind of led into the second half where you guys started playing better on offense and started scoring some points. So do you think that's kind of indicative of what you've got as a quarterback, knowing that he can face that adversity early and just as a team early on, and then make some adjustments and come back and do some positive things?
Well, I mean, if you were at the game, obviously it wasn't going our way early in that football game. We did have a nice drive, got down, just basically completed the pass. They called it an interception. It should have been a fumble early in the game where they took a ball away from one of our receivers after a catch. But Barrett was running for his life most of the night, and I think that's more indicative that we had John Miller hadn't played in 3 weeks, and A.J. Ray, who was our next starter and playing pretty good for us, wasn't there, weren't available to play. So you're injecting a young man that had never started for you, and it hurt in our protections, and so it definitely got us out of sync in what we were able to do throwing the football. We missed a few reads during the game. Barrett had a tough week last week. He had tonsillitis all week. He was sick as a dog all week long, and it showed in his play a little bit. But he'll bounce back, and he'll be fine. Offensively, I thought DeAndre Jenkins had a heck of a game for us. Played well, ran the ball hard. We had some receivers. Krantz, Higgins made some really big plays for us during the course of that football game. But it just wasn't to be in Russellville. Russellville, I don't know what about Russellville has been so tough for us, but. Every year we've gone up there, we haven't been able to get a win up there. But on the flip side of that, every time Tech's come to Magnolia, they hadn't been able to get a win here. So, that's just football and the way it can go down. But we got a young quarterback there that we're going to win a lot of games with here at Southern Arkansas, and to me, he's the kind of guy that you can win a championship with. I was talking to Coach Monica before the game, and that's the one person he mentioned right off the bat was our quarterback and how good he thought he was. So, yeah, he's young. He's young. Our football team's young for the most part. I think we've been exposed a little bit on defense with our youth. It didn't help us at all that Lyson wasn't there. Our most productive right now, statistically, defensive lineman didn't get a play in the game, and that definitely hurt us in some situations in what they were doing with the read zone and that quarterback running out of it. Our other defensive ends couldn't catch him. Well, Devondre can. Anyhow, it's just football, and we're a young team, and we're going to get better, we just got to put that in the past and move forward and get us some wins.
You mentioned a lot of season left to be played. Obviously, just 4 games. Got an 11-game slate. Upcoming though, right now is another road game at Southern Nazarene. Probably maybe the second longest road trip that your team will have to take in any given year within the conference. So not an easy trip to take, but the one time you've gone there, you found success in Bethany, coming up with a lopsided win there. So talk a little bit about that matchup, kind of what you're expecting facing Southern Nazarene, trying to stay above 500.
Well, Southern Naz came into our league just a couple years ago, coming up from the NAI into our league. They've had a tough transition at this point in time. They're in a situation now where their head coach stepped down late summer. That's difficult on any football team. So they're experiencing some hard times, and I've been there. We were here. That was us when we first got here, taking over a program that was really in shambles, and it takes a while. It takes a while. It takes patience. But for us, making this trip, easy trip for us to Oklahoma City. I mean, you're going to be able to find accommodations. So you're going to be able to find places. That's all good stuff. And the logistics of travel. This trip for us is, hey, we got to improve. I mean, we got to get better at the things that cost us against Arkansas Tech. We jumped off five times offensively. We had 2 holding penalties. We had 3 snaps that ended up on the ground because the ball was snapped prematurely. Those are things you can't do and win a football game. You take those things out of the Arkansas Tech game, who knows? It might have been a different game. So we've got to work on us and getting that stuff out of our game and improve on both sides of the ball. I think there's some things that we've really worked hard on this weekend. This whole week defensively that I think will make a huge difference in our play, and it's our recognition of formations and what comes out of those formations. It's just not lining up, putting your hand in the ground with a ball snap, getting after the guy in front of you. That's college football's not that anymore. It's about understanding formations. It's understanding what can come out of those formations, what kind of blocks are going to come out of those formations, and that's all that you've got to get your team to, and that's where a little bit of the inexperience hurts us, and that even some of our older players are not there on that yet. So we've really worked hard on that, and it's just about us getting better, us performing at a high level. Anytime you go on a trip to a team that's having hard times like Southern Naz is, you can't allow yourself to play down and and what I mean by playing down is playing slow. You're not mentally into it. You're making mental mistakes. Now you become what they are right now, and when you do that, you're setting yourself up for possibly getting yourself beat on a road trip that by a team that shouldn't beat you.
We appreciate it very much for your time. Again, that's head football coach Bill Keopple. He and his Mule Riders back on the road this weekend. This time going to Bethany, Oklahoma to take on Southern Nazarene University. This Saturday, kickoff at 2 p.m. So first of the earlier kickoffs now. A few more, no more 6 o'clock kicks and 7 o'clock.
I like that, traveling home.
Yeah. So they'll be there 2 o'clock kickoff time. Be sure to check MuleRiderAthletics.com for all your pre and post game coverage. And Coach, best of luck and safe travels.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you a lot.